Greetings, everyone, and a warm welcome to yet another episode of the Learn English podcast channel. I'm Wasim, your host, and I'm absolutely chuffed to be joined today by my wonderful co-host, Lydia. How are you holding up today, Lydia?
Hello there, Wasim. I'm feeling absolutely splendid, and I'm positively buzzing about today's topic because it's something every English learner wrestles with at some point: how to actually take the plunge and start speaking English. It's such a common hurdle, isn't it?
And that's precisely why we're here to lend a hand today. So, if you're listening, and you've ever felt a bit jittery about speaking English, or perhaps you're simply unsure where to even begin, this episode is crafted especially for you.
Absolutely. Today, we're going to unveil 5 brilliant and effective methods to help you speak English more naturally and with heaps of confidence. These are straightforward, practical techniques that anyone can pick up, no matter where you find yourself on your English learning adventure, be it at the very start or a bit further along.
And here's the best part. You don't need to splash out on expensive courses, sit in a classroom, or even have a language partner to start putting these ideas into action. You can weave them seamlessly into your daily routine, kicking off right after you finish listening to this podcast.
Spot on, Wasim. Whether you're a beginner who feels too bashful to utter a word or an intermediate learner keen to polish your fluency and sound more like a native, these 5 methods will nudge you out of your comfort zone and get you speaking English with real assurance.
So, do stay with us right until the end of this episode, because we'll also be dishing out some extra handy tips on overcoming those pesky challenges that crop up, like the dread of making a mistake, not getting enough practice, or even feeling a bit lost on how to keep going.
And if you find this podcast smashing and helpful, please don't hesitate to subscribe, share it with your mates, and pop us a comment. We genuinely adore hearing from you. It's one of the highlights of doing this show.
Right then, let's dive in with gusto. The first thing we need to tackle is why speaking English is so utterly crucial. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the 5 methods, let's take a moment to chat about why practicing speaking is the absolute bedrock of becoming fluent. So, before we launch into the 5 ways to speak English, let's pause and reflect on something really vital: why speaking English matters so much in the grand scheme of things.
That's a cracking point to kick off with, Wasim. Loads of English learners dedicate years to studying grammar rules and memorizing vocabulary lists, yet they still hit a wall when it comes to speaking. Have you ever come across someone who says, "I can understand English perfectly, but I just can't seem to speak it"?
Oh, all the time. It's practically a catchphrase among learners. And that's because learning about English and actually speaking it are 2 completely different kettles of fish. You can know every grammar rule under the sun, but if you don't put speaking into practice, it's a real struggle to chat fluently and sound natural.
Exactly. Speaking is like a muscle. You've got to give it a regular workout to build its strength and flexibility. Think about it this way. If you wanted to get physically fit, you wouldn't just read books about exercise and call it a day, would you? You'd get out there and move. It's precisely the same principle with English.
That's a spot-on analogy, Lydia. And here's another angle to consider. English is a global language that's practically everywhere you look. Whether you're jetting off on holiday, chasing career goals, studying abroad, or even scrolling through social media, being able to speak English can open up a treasure trove of opportunities.
Absolutely. It's the go-to language for business, technology, and connecting with people internationally. So, if you can speak English with confidence and flair, you'll have a proper leg up in your career, your studies, and even in your personal life. Perhaps making new friends from far-flung places.
And it's not just about job prospects or practical benefits. Speaking English also lets you build bridges with people from all corners of the world. Imagine traveling to a new country and striking up a conversation with the locals over a cuppa. It makes the whole experience so much more vivid and memorable.
So true, Wei-Sin. And let's not forget the confidence boost that comes with it. Loads of learners feel a bit wobbly or shy when they first try speaking, but the more you practice, the more comfortable and self-assured you become. It's like a virtuous circle.
Bang on. And today, we're here to help you shake off that fear once and for all. We'll walk you through 5 powerful ways to start speaking English more naturally, fluently, and with a spring in your step.
Yes, so if you've been dodging speaking because you're scared of stumbling or just don't know where to start, don't worry. We've got you covered with plenty of encouragement and practical advice. Let's get cracking.
All right, let's kick off with Method 1, speaking with yourself. This is hands down one of the most effective ways to sharpen your English skills, and it's something you can start doing straight away. Here we go. Method 1. Speak with yourself. Now, you might be thinking, hold on a sec, what? Speak with myself? Have I gone daft? But trust me, this is one of the easiest, most powerful ways to practice speaking English, and it's brilliant for building your skills.
Exactly, Wei-Sin. It might sound a bit peculiar at first, like you're chatting to an imaginary friend, but this method is pure gold because it lets you practice without needing anyone else around. You're quite literally your own best practice partner, always available and ready to go.
Quite right. For example, when you're pottering about with everyday tasks, like whipping up breakfast, driving to work, or taking a leisurely walk, try narrating what you're doing in English. Say things like, I'm cracking an egg into the pan, or I'm turning left at the lights. It's dead simple but works wonders.
Yes, or you could pretend you're teaching someone something. Imagine you're giving a mate a step-by-step guide on how to whip up your favorite dish, say, a cracking shepherd's pie. It might feel a tad silly at first, but you'll be gobsmacked at how fast your speaking skills improve with this little trick.
And the key here is sticking with it. Consistency is everything. The more you practice chatting to yourself, the more at ease you'll feel with the language. Start with small bits, and as your confidence builds, try spinning longer yarns, like telling a story about your day, or voicing your thoughts in English about the weather or what's on telly.
That's it. And don't fuss about slipping up or getting it wrong. The whole point is just to get used to speaking and stringing sentences together on the fly. If you stumble, no worries. You can always have a go at correcting yourself later when you've got a moment to think it over.
Spot on. It's all about building that confidence and making practice a regular habit. So, next time you're on your own, whether you're in the kitchen or strolling down the high street, give speaking to yourself in English a whirl. It might feel odd at first, but trust me, it's a game changer.
Now let's move on to Method 2. Imitate native speakers. This one's a personal favorite of mine, and it's such a fun way to learn. The idea is simple. It's all about shadowing. Shadowing?
Could you unpack that a bit more for us, Lydia?
Gladly. Shadowing is when you listen to a native speaker, maybe from a film, a teleprogram, a podcast like ours, or even a YouTube video, and repeat what they say word for word right after they say it, almost like an echo. It's a bit like being a parrot, but with a purpose.
Oh, I see now. It's like you're mimicking their exact way of speaking, their pronunciation, the ups and downs of their tone, and the rhythm of their sentences.
Exactly, Wei-Sin. The aim is to get as close as you can to their natural style of speaking. It's fantastic for polishing your pronunciation, boosting your fluency, and getting a feel for how English flows in real-life chats, like at the pub or in a shop.
And the brilliant thing is, you can use whatever you fancy. If you're mad about films, watch your favorite scenes in English. Think Harry Potter or James Bond, and repeat the lines word for word. If podcasts are more your cup of tea, pick one that grabs you and echo the words as soon as they're spoken, as.
Yes, and make sure you tune into the intonation, the way the voice rises and falls, like when someone's asking a question or getting excited. It's not just about nailing the words, it's about capturing how they're delivered, which makes you sound more authentic.
Absolutely. Shadowing is a cracking way to sound more natural and get comfy with the rhythm of the language. Plus, it's a right laugh because you're learning from native speakers who sound confident and smooth as butter. Next up, join speaking communities. This is so vital. If you really want to up your speaking game, you've got to practice with other people, not just on your own.
Yes, there's nothing quite like real conversations to take your skills to the next level. You can sign up for language exchange platforms or join conversation groups, either online or in person, to practice with other English learners or native speakers who can give you a bit of feedback.
Precisely. Websites like Tandem or HelloTalk let you link up with folks from all over the world who are either learning your language or teaching English. You can set up video or voice calls, maybe even over a cuppa. And that's where the real breakthroughs happen.
And if you can't find a one-on-one partner, don't worry. There are stacks of speaking groups on platforms like Facebook or Meetup. Loads of them run free weekly sessions where you can natter away with others, often with a friendly organizer to keep things ticking along.
And here's a top tip. Don't be shy about it. Everyone in these groups is learning, just like you, and most people are chuffed to bits to practice with a newbie. Plus, making a few slip-ups in a safe space like that is exactly how you improve. Better there than in a high-stakes situation.
Exactly. Chatting with others not only builds your confidence, but also introduces you to different accents, like British, Australian, or American, and speaking styles, which is dead useful when you're getting to grips with a language as varied as English.
Next, we've got method 4. Record and listen to yourself. Now, this one might feel a bit awkward at first, like hearing your voice on an old voicemail, but it's incredibly powerful for spotting where you can improve.
It can be a bit cringeworthy hearing your own voice, I'll grant you that, but it's one of the most effective ways to catch little quirks or areas that need a bit of work. It's like being your own coach.
Quite so. When you record yourself speaking, whether it's reading a short passage from a book or having a little pretend chat about your day, you can play it back and really zero in on things like your pronunciation, how you stress certain words, and whether your sentences flow nicely.
And here's the cherry on top. You can track how you're getting on over time. If you record yourself every few weeks, say once a fortnight, you'll start to hear how much smoother and more confident your speaking has become, which is a massive morale boost.
Too right. You might also pick up on little mistakes you didn't even clock while you were talking, like saying "thee" as "t" or rushing through a sentence. You can tweak those bits and focus on what needs extra practice.
Absolutely. Plus, the more you listen to yourself speaking English, the more normal it'll feel, like hearing a mate rather than a stranger. It's a brilliant way to build fluency without needing anyone else in the room.
And finally, method 5. Think in English. This is the ultimate goal for any language learner worth their salt. If you want to sound natural and fluent, like you've been speaking it for yonks, you need to get to a point where your brain switches to English mode automatically.
Yes, when you stop translating everything in your head from your native language, you'll speak so much quicker and more smoothly. It's like flicking a switch. So, how do you start thinking in English? Well, it's all about rewiring your mindset bit by bit.
Exactly. One dead easy way to get going is by labeling things around you in English. Grab some sticky notes and pop them on stuff in your house, like door, table, window, or even fridge, so you start associating those words with the objects naturally.
Another cracking idea is to describe things in English as you go about your day-to-day. For example, if you spot a dog bounding down the street, instead of thinking in your first language, try forming the sentence in English. That dog is running so fast it looks chuffed to bits.
Over time, you'll find yourself thinking in English without even trying. It'll just happen, like second nature. This is the golden ticket to true fluency, where speaking feels effortless rather than a chore. Now that we've walked through the 5 powerful ways to speak English, let's tackle something loads of learners grapple with: overcoming those common challenges that pop up along the way.
Right you are, Wason. Learning to speak English isn't always plain sailing, and there are some stumbling blocks nearly every learner bumps into at some point. But here's the good news. These hurdles are totally conquerable with the right approach.
One of the biggest challenges is the fear of cocking it up, making mistakes. Loads of learners feel a bit red-faced or self-conscious when speaking because they're terrified of saying something wrong or sounding daft.
Yes, but here's the honest truth. Mistakes are just part of the learning game. Think back to when you were a little nipper learning your first language. Did you come out with perfect sentences from day one? Not a chance.
Not at all. We all babbled and blundered our way through, but we got better with time. It's exactly the same with English. Don't let fear put the brakes on your speaking. Mistakes are a smashing way to learn and grow.
Spot on. Another biggie is finding time to practice. We're all juggling busy lives, work, school, family, you name it, so squeezing in speaking practice can feel like a right faff sometimes.
That's a fair shout, Lydia, but the trick is to weave speaking English into your daily routine so it doesn't feel like an extra chore. You don't need to block out hours. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day can work wonders if you stick at it.
Yes, try sneaking it into stuff you're already doing. For instance, have a natter with yourself in English while you're rustling up dinner, folding the laundry, or taking the dog for a walk round the park. Those little moments of practice really stack up over time.
Absolutely. And sometimes learners hit a wall because they don't have a conversation partner to bounce off. But don't let that stop you. There are heaps of ways to practice, even if you're flying solo for a bit.
Right. You can lean on the methods we've already covered, like speaking with yourself, shadowing native speakers, or jumping into online speaking communities. The key is to get creative and take charge of your own learning.
Another sticking point is lack of confidence. It's only natural to feel a bit nervy when you're speaking a new language, especially in front of others. But the more you practice, the more that wobble fades away. Take a sec to think about how much you've already achieved. It's probably more than you realize.
Exactly. Confidence comes hand in hand with practice. The more you speak, the less you'll agonize over slip-ups, and the more comfy you'll feel rolling English off your tongue like it's an old friend.
And last but not least, plenty of learners struggle with keeping their motivation fired up. It can be tough to stay the course, especially when you don't see instant results, like fluency dropping into your lap overnight.
That's totally normal, and we've all been there. But it's crucial to keep reminding yourself why you kicked off this English journey in the first place, whether it's for a cracking job, a dream holiday, or just to stretch your mind. Having a clear goal in sight can keep your spirits high.
Right. And don't go comparing your progress to others. Everyone's on their own path, and that's all right. Give yourself a pat on the back for your own wins, no matter how tiny they seem, like nailing a tricky word or stringing a sentence together without a hitch.
Exactly. So don't let these challenges knock you off course. Embrace the ups and downs. Stay patient with yourself and keep plugging away at your practice. You've absolutely got this in the bag.
Too right. And we're here cheering you on every step of the way. Keep using the 5 methods we've shared today, and before you know it, speaking English will feel as natural as breathing. Easy peasy. Before we call it a day, let's leave you with some final nuggets of wisdom and a good dose of encouragement to keep your momentum going strong.
Yes, first off, remember that progress doesn't happen in a flash. It takes time and a bit of elbow grease. Learning a language isn't something you can rush overnight, so be gentle with yourself and cheer on those small victories, like getting through a chat without freezing up.
Spot on. If you're feeling a bit miffed or stuck, take a breather and look back at how far you've come already. Every new word you pick up, every sentence you manage to say is a step closer to fluency, and that's worth celebrating.
Another tip is to keep at it consistently. Even if you can only spare 5 minutes a day, say, while brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil, try to speak English every single day. That steady drip of practice is what builds real, lasting progress. Don't wait for some magical, perfect moment. Just dive in now.
Yes, and don't be afraid to push yourself a bit harder. Step outside your comfort zone. Try speaking in front of a mirror to watch your expressions, record yourself to hear how you sound, or even strike up a quick chat with a stranger in English at the shops. The more you challenge yourself, the quicker you'll see growth.
Absolutely. And here's a big one. Treat mistakes as your mates, not your enemies. They're proof you're having a go and getting better, so don't shy away from them. Embrace them with open arms. Every slip-up is just another chance to fine-tune your skills.
And don't lose sight of this. Learning English opens up a world of possibilities. Whether it's jetting off to new places, forging fresh connections with people, or climbing the ladder at work, the rewards are endless. So keep pushing forward. It's worth every ounce of effort.
That's bang on. English isn't just a language. It's a bridge to new adventures, cultures, and a wider world out there waiting for you. So stay motivated, keep up the practice, and trust that you'll get where you're aiming, step by step.
We're rooting for you all the way, every single mile of this journey. And you're not alone in this. You've got a whole community of learners out there plugging away, and we're here to give you a hand whenever you need it.
Exactly. So keep practicing, keep your chin up, and most importantly, have a bit of fun with it. The more you enjoy the ride, the faster you'll improve, and you might even surprise yourself along the way.
All right, that's us done for today's episode of the Learn English podcast channel. We hope you found these tips dead useful and that you're feeling fired up to speak more English every day. Starting today, why not?
Thanks a million for tuning in with us. We'll be back soon with more handy tips and tricks in our next episode to keep you on track. Until then, keep practicing and don't forget, you've got this well and truly sorted.
Take care and happy speaking, folks. That wraps up today's episode. We've loved having you along for the ride. We really hope you enjoyed our natter and found the advice we shared practical and inspiring.
Absolutely. Remember, speaking English is a journey, a brilliant winding one, and you don't have to tackle it solo. Every little step you take, no matter how small it feels, is progress towards something amazing. So keep going and stay fired up.
We know learning a language can feel overwhelming at times, like climbing a mountain in flip-flops, but staying positive and keeping at it day after day is the key. Trust the process, give yourself time, and you'll see some cracking results before long.
We'd love to hear from you lot out there. If you've got any questions, need a few more pointers, or just want to say hello, feel free to ping us on social media or drop a comment below. We're always chuffed to bits to chat and help out.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of the podcast. We've got stacks more useful advice and strategies lined up to support you on your English learning quest. Plenty to look forward to.
Thanks again for joining us today, you lovely lot. Keep practicing your English, stay brimming with confidence, and always remember, you're doing absolutely smashing. Until next time, take care and keep speaking.
Catch you in the next episode. Cheerio for now.